Chef Rush, how are you?
I am absolutely amazing. What about you? It's great to see you again, by the way.
I'm good. Do you remember these guys? I don't know if
I
you can
remember those
see
guys. I
these.
remember
Yes,
them. You
yes,
you have both. I am honored.
yes. Well, listen, you're a very positive, inspiring man. I just listened to your book. I'm a chef. Damn it, your memoir.
I'm a
Uh,
chef. Yep.
you had me in tears.
Thank you. Thank you. It meant a lot. I kind of went out of the box with the book and with the audiobook. I did it myself, and I didn't want to tell people what they wanted to hear. I told everybody what they need to hear, whether it be good, bad, indifferent, the truth, bad falls, downfalls. I talk about it all. I tell
You
about
do.
my failures and about the things I go through. I'm very transparent, and that's life.
Yeah, I listened to the audiobook and I love that because I'm hearing you and how I can picture you in in my mind as you're saying these things. And one of the things that really touched my heart, you talk a lot about your mother and how, inspiring she was to you and, you being the chef and how, the Southern cooking, the love that she had. And, the one story that was funny that you were talking about how she cussed for the first time around you with being held back. Um, but your mom is a very lovely person, and I saw the tribute you gave to your mother, and that was very nice. And you know, if she was here now, what would she say?
Oh man, if she was here now, um, what would she
Would you
say?
guys have a cook off, you and your mom?
Have we ever did a
Yeah,
cook-off?
yeah.
No, I would never try to cook against my mom. Not even close. She just asked me to cook for her when I started doing what I was doing, and I even not cook for her. She tells me it tastes great, but it still doesn't encompass that motherly love that she gave from the South, and that's what I try to encompass in all of my cooking, no matter who it's for, whether it's the top of the top, or whether it be homeless or kids or just a Joe Smo. I want to always make them feel that 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 love they felt with their grandmother, their mother, or someone, not just like a Michelin star chef or a five-star restaurant. Who cares? Because that has no love that goes along with it unless they take the time and care for it. But my mother would, she would be proud. She'll be proud. She's very simple. She's like I am right now, and I got that humility from her. When I say humility is, I can be very arrogant at times, meaning for the things I stand up for. Of course, I have to flex a little bit on that part of it, but with my lifestyle and who I am and what I do and what she taught me, it'll always be the same.
You have come a long way, and again, just going over your book, if it's okay, I could talk a little bit about it. You mentioned about what if you didn't get held back? Would you be Chef Rush today? And that's like, yeah, it's very interesting to think about, because twice, right? First grade and second grade.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the third grade, your mom just went off and fuck, fuck, fuck.
Yep. And it's funny about that because we always say in our mind, like people say, well, I never judge. That's a lie. We always judge.
Yes.
Not meaning that we judge in a negative way, but our minds are programmed to say, oh, he's big, she's small, he's this way, he's that way, he's black, he's white, he's Asian. We always think those things, so we automatically go into that stereotypical type, not judgment, but we say things about them. And we all say, well, if I had done this or if I had done that, the thing about it, even when I say if, I don't care. It didn't happen. So I have to think the best out of it. What if I didn't become Chef Rush and I was an astronaut? Or what if I was a homeless guy? Or what if I had done something totally different? Being a garbage man. I don't know what I could. All I know is that I'm here today as Chef Rush, and that was a mission. It was God given that I was here to inspire and do the things that my mother and my father embedded in me. And of course, I put the military aspect in there as well from that structure and going above and beyond. And that's why I became a public speaker without even knowing it. That's because I became a TV guy, a TV star without even knowing it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would have been and could have been, but now that I got this platform, I want to be everything that I can be.
Yeah. So in 2018 is when you got discovered by the one picture that was circling around. Was it a video or a picture of your arms?
it was just a picture, simple picture.
A bunch of memes, right?
I'm sorry.
There's a bunch of memes too, like people
Yeah,
like,
it turned into memes, a lot of memes, hundreds of millions of views, if not
wow.
more. It just was a simple picture in the White House that I tried to hide from, and just kind of, and I had no social media. I wasn't allowed to have, all my social media is recent, so I grew my social media from zero to well, actually in the last excuse me, in the last 8 weeks I grew it another 4.3 million.
Oh, wow.
Because you know what? Because I wanted to. I needed to. I wanted to get more kids involved. So I
Right.
started doing more videos, and I went from YouTube from 50,000. Now I'm at 2 million.
Jeez.
TikTok 100,000 to 1.5.
Oh my
Instagram
God.
a couple 350 more
Right.
thousand.
Wow.
Yada yada. So it's all being strategic and strategy. It's not about the numbers, but people look at that. It's about what you can do with those numbers and that appearance of that. I always had a presence in doing a lot of different things, but at the same time, it's like, you know how I say teaching the old dog new tricks? It's like
Right.
I know what I need to do to become, relevancy. My relevancy is attracting more people and more causes.
So I'm going to go into you are the star of the Kitchen Commando, who that's produced and directed by Gordon Ramsay. Is that right? Yeah. So I got to watch a bit of this, and it's you talk about the marketing thing. So I had to laugh at the one part where you're eating the shrimp. Where do I put this at? And of course, there's this big Bud Light bucket, and you're like, well, marketing, you can have like your big, what was it, Crab Boss on there.
Yep, exactly.
So I'm surprised that girl. I'm looking at her as you're telling her, yeah, this food is, the oil. What was it? It tastes like oil.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah, old oil.
old oil? And
Yeah,
she's
I
just
can
like,
smell it.
yep. But what cracked me up was you and that Micah kid,
Yeah, yeah.
Michael, Micah.
That Michael, and you see how it went from that to that.
Oh,
It just shows the mindset of different individuals. Everybody's different. Everybody was raised different, grew differently, just from a simple name. But the thing about that was my actual reaction. That's how I
yeah,
am in real
yeah,
life.
yeah.
So when he exploded, he went off. I went off like that. That's
Oh,
that.
you
But also at
scared
the
me
same
when I
time,
saw that.
but at the same time, I had to stop, think, re-engage, re-encompass, and bring it back down to a level that we both can understand. Meaning that, hey, I was once you. I know where you're coming from. I see you. I get it. I get it. You're this person, and this is how you was raised, and I was raised a certain way as well. He said, he has triggers. I said, I got a million of them. Everything's a
Right.
trigger to
Yeah.
me. If you're doing it for this one thing, imagine doing it 10,000 times over with everybody else.
Yeah.
This is your one time. So people got to think about stuff like
Well,
that.
I watched his eyes light up when you said about how you blew up, like you blew up, when you were in Afghanistan. And then, of course, dealing with 9/11, you were right there at the Pentagon when that happened. That's hardcore. And, when you go into your book, too, about that, you had me in tears. You had me in tears. And that part with Mike, I bring it up because, it touched me because you said to him, I think the words were, I believe in you.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
true.
And, that hits me because I know you as a friend and you're such a positive person and you really mean well. You want to help others. I mean, you understand what they're going through. I mean, you've been through a lot growing up and just through your whole life. And, what you've accomplished is truly amazing, truly amazing. And, I also want to touch base on you. Now, you have some other projects going on right now as well.
I have a lot of other projects right now. I do. I do. I'm airing on Master Chef is airing tonight. I have an episode as a special guest on that with the military edition.
Are you kicking anybody's ass on there and getting all revved
I
up?
I get a little kitchen commando at one point. I try to keep it copacetic, but
I love the whole Kitchen Commando concept. This is such a great show. I was so entertained and I love what you're doing. It's great.
yeah, and if you know me, I embedded my structure inside that also, along with the caring. I get the tough part of it, but the end result is community, giving back, my 4 Ps, pride, peace of mind, which is mental health, which is my most important thing, and going along with that, I'm doing a thing with the Cancer Society, so with Merck, so I'm a spokesperson for that. I've been there now for almost 6 months, another 6 months to go. So I've did November National Cancer Awareness Month. I've done February Black History Month. Now I'm going to be doing fitness, men's health and women's health coming up, so which is important. All those different things. Of course, I'm doing something, a couple of hush hush things I'm doing that is going to be really, really huge starting next month. Actually, in a couple days, actually, which is going to be magnificent, not only for military, but spouses, veterans, and everyone else along with it, because it's one of the main things that we need to focus on this day and age because of everything that's happening. Also doing some stuff. I'm signed now with Muscle Tech.
I
We're doing a
saw that.
campaign actually starting coming up, um, which is I like because they put inside of what I want to do, along with everything that encompasses me, not just being a brand, but being so much bigger and better with everyone else involved. So things like that are important. I'm also doing something with Trifecta now.
Oh, are you? Wow.
I love to eat, but
Yes.
if you see my cooking things where I do a little bit of aggressive cooking. It's actually funny because that's actually a release for me. You
Cooking?
know, it's a coping tool, the things that I do. So I have a lot of projects going on, but otherwise, I'm still doing speaking engagements all over the world, traveling here and there. Yeah, I'm
What
just
was
kind
the
of.
thing you did with this young man? The titty pasta?
I'm
Did you
sorry.
call it titty pasta? You guys made a video? Oh
We did
my
a
God.
QCP. Yeah, we did a video where I
Chicken
said
titty
respect the cookie.
pasta.
Yeah, titty pasta.
It wasn't really exactly what I thought it was going to be from
That was having fun. That video got like about 300 million views, and then I did some
300
more.
million views.
300 million views, and I actually did one with one of the guys who got a half a billion views. And
Wow.
even the ones I do, up in the millions. And you talk about the views and things that are relevancy, but it has a message about it. Like now, I go to airports where I am now. I get a bunch of kids, 5 and 6 years old. They want to take pictures, and they ask their mother. And even here where I'm at in hotels and going downstairs, and I'll everybody said, I love what you do. I love your message. I love all this. I love all that. And it's a difference because you see entertainers and celebrities and whatnot. They're like, oh, I love your shows. I love, who you are. I love your music. But you don't hear a lot of like, I appreciate what you do for everybody else. I appreciate you, not only for the kitchen commandos, but you going out representing everyone. When I say everyone, not talking about the military, I'm talking about man, woman, child, people of every color, every race, unbiasedly, and that's what it's all about, bringing us together, you know.
That is what it's all about. And unfortunately, in my opinion, I feel like we've actually spread more apart.
We have, and people are a lot more toxic, a lot more
Yes.
complacent, a lot more entitled, a lot more, and like I said, it goes back to human nature. We do things, we don't think about things, and people try to judge people for no reason.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on Trifecta.
It's hard because you talk about 9/11. I was in the Pentagon, and I've been coughing. I've been coughing for the last since then. I took all this stuff in. Have CPOD. I have this asthma. I don't make any excuses. I go and I do what I have to do. I got blown up. I cut off my biceps. Both sides. Had my both shoulders done. I still work out. I don't complain. We just do what we need to do, and we look at ourselves, and we don't look at everybody else. I'll never compare myself to anyone else.
Right.
There's no one else comparable to me. People say, "Hey, shit, what do you do about guys bigger than you?" There's no one bigger. There's no one taller. There's no one
Well, let
greater.
me just cut you off there for a second. We will say this though: when you're doing yourself, your pictures, you always got to do the angle Make sure
Well, you
you
know that very well.
those
You know
20,
that.
25-inch guns. Is that what that is now, or 24?
Well, you know, I'm slacking a little bit, but we up there.
Slacking. Look at that. You're about to rip the sleeves off that shirt. Yeah, you're always doing that angle. You got to show those guns.
You know, I didn't know it was an angle till it was an angle. I was like,
Oh
okay,
man.
I'll stick with it. I'll stick with
Well,
it.
God love you. No, everything you do is just incredible. You got to tell me about Molly, though. Can you share one story about Molly?
Molly is my girlfriend from way back when in another life and another time. It was at West Point, New York, and Molly's a ghost. But when I was there as the senior aide for the superintendent, Molly used to hunt there. But the backstory is Molly was from a long time ago, and what she did was
Yeah, the jungle fever comment got me. That's why.
yeah, it got me, and it was funny because I talked about that, and I said, Molly has jungle fever, and I've said it like a million times,
Yes.
and it's amazing because I did the tours, and I said that one time to a guy, a kid, and he went back and he told him like, and he was a white
Right.
male,
Yeah.
and he said, "Yo, Chef, he said jungle fever," and I found that offensive, and I was like, and they're like, "Chef, never say it again." I'm like, "Okay, I'm done. I'm
Right.
out. I'm
Right.
out." I actually left there after that happened. I said that right there showed me and said so much volume of me having said that a million times as me being a black, I'm African American,
Sure.
whatever I am.
Sure.
Talking about that in a comical way of
Right.
jungle fever, which knows that whether it be interracial, but now with today's age, you can say anything you want to say. But me saying that not even triggered someone. I just think it was just because it was referenced and it could, which I understand everybody has their rights, but that one person would never be ever around me ever again.
Right.
And later on, that one person actually came back as an officer, and I actually asked him about that. I'm like, "You said that, why?" And he was like, "I don't know, Chef. I just, I just felt it was, this." And I'm like, "Okay, that's all I need to know. I just
Right.
need because it wasn't wrong. It wasn't different because we can say 1,000 times more, which, everybody does. So
Right.
it was just funny.
Isn't it amazing how we can't really say things now that we used to say back then?
You can't say anything now. You cannot say anything without offending anyone. And it's so funny you say that because we go way back. We laugh about a lot of stuff. And even when me doing cooking videos and cooking some, and they were like, "Oh, you cook that? You eating that meat?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm eating meat." What I'm like, "Why don't you cook
Right.
some vegan stuff?" To each his own. Everybody do what they want to do or however they want to do it. I have no offense against anyone, race, whatever. The only thing I don't ask you to do, the same thing I won't do, is put your beliefs on me. We all have our own beliefs, our own rights, and I respect them either way it goes. And the only thing I say is respect mine.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let me talk to you about mental health for a second. Do you feel that in the bodybuilding community that there's a lot of depressed athletes? People
Ab-
dealing with mental health?
Absolutely, absolutely. In the bodybuilding world, especially the bodybuilding world, and I'll say our world because I'm involved in
Yes.
it all the time. I know all the guys. I've been with them. I've seen the struggles. I've seen the triumphs. And people who's not in this world and they talk about it, they can never understand it. This world of bodybuilding is the most unique and most niche and most like critical, nucleus of any environment. If you think about it, what it takes for the men and the women to do what they do 24/7, all day, all night, and compete against not each other, but against themselves.
Right.
That has to be the most extreme and most taxing thing that you could possibly ever think about. And in the past couple of years, we've had unfortunately a few suicides, we've had some deaths, but we've had some breakdowns from a lot of people, and it's hard to keep up with this demand. It's hard to keep up with this demand, and especially for you to look the way you look,
Oh, yeah.
say And that's what happened with me when I came out and said I have PTSD. It was hard because I was one of those people who contributed said, nah, I can't say anything. I'm not going to say anything because I had that man code in my head where I'm bigger, better, stronger, faster. And when I did, it just opened up a floodgate of everyone else coming out saying, I appreciate it. These men and these women who said, I needed somebody to tell me this. I needed somebody to say this to me. I needed to be able to say this to myself. So in this world of bodybuilding, it's 24/7. It's on all the time. You're around everyone. But I think honestly, the hardest person that you're fighting is yourself, because you have to get out of your own head, because everything will get to you. I
What do
mean,
you
it's
what do you
constant.
suggest though, not to cut you off, what do you suggest
Yeah.
that these athletes or people do when they go through a rough patch in their life?
You know what? I'll be very honest with you. I'm a very unorthodox type of person. Of course, I'm always going to say talk to someone, get some help. That's the
Sure,
cliche answer
sure.
for it. I'm not the big fan of the medication and all those different
Right, me
things,
neither.
unless you just underline with that part that you have to. That's something it's an imbalance. But at the same time, is you really have to dig down deep and admit that something's going on. And then you have to find the right resource. And when I say right resources, it doesn't have to be at a 800 or 88 number or whatever, a resource for you that's an outlet or something that you can do. Me, for my PTSD, this is what I do to help myself. Regardless if I get all the trolls or negativity, if I get the one positive person, I feed off of that person. When they say thank you, chef, and I say thank you back, I actually mean it, because you're helping me. You're helping me get this. You have to have a cause and a reason. I know we do things for ourselves, but in retrospect, we should be doing things for everybody else.
Yes.
It is so rewarding to give back. Me, it's 1,000 times over. So when you see me doing all these different things, it's not me trying to brag. It's because I'm helping, and it's helping me in
But it makes
return.
you feel good. Like you're actually doing these things because you want to. Some people do it because, they have to, but you're
Yeah,
genuine.
yeah, yeah. I hate that. Yeah, maybe a tax write-off, or you
Yeah,
got to go.
tax write-off.
I just seriously,
You're
it's like
right.
it's crazy what I've seen and how I've seen. I'm like, man, this sucks. You suck.
You
If you're not
suck.
doing it for the right reason, come on. You talking to kids. If you like, I'm off the clock. I'm off the radar now. I got to go do this. If you see me, I've stood at the Arnold
Oh
or at
yeah.
Olympia, and I've stayed in that one spot for 4 or 5
Oh
hours,
yeah.
taking pictures after hugs, and the smile never goes away. Even when people try to drag me away, I'm like, nope, I'm not going anywhere. They're here for a reason. I'm here for a reason.
Hey, how about that guy that bumped into you? That one skinny white dude. The revenge one was good.
Yeah,
Did
the
you get him?
revenge was pretty good.
What was
Yeah.
his name? What's that dorky guy's name?
The greatest entertainer.
The greatest entertainer. This little skinny twig just walking around with air lats. Oop! I'm
Yep.
like, oh, you messing with the wrong mofo right there.
Yeah, he just recently came out with a music video. So
Did
it
he?
was funny. Yeah, he just came out with a music video, and he did
Oh
that.
God.
He bumped into me again, and that was another one which I thought was pretty funny because that video alone still got like 300 million views as well.
Jeez. So what is it? You're opening up the door and he's coming in, or is like you guys cross paths?
So I'm opening up the door, and I glanced over at him, and happened to be going in where it's a coded door.
Right.
And yeah, and the door closed right when I got to it. Of course, I could have broke the door, but I had to pay for
Of
it.
course
But
you would have broke the door with those big guns. Of course. How is your training now, being on the road? I mean, is it you still getting in the workouts and
it's
everything?
hard. It's hard. I am literally on the road so much. I did 500,000 miles last year.
Oof.
This year, I'm already on flight number 100, and I think it's 13, 14 now.
That's it? Okay.
It is. I mean, it's bad when all the airlines know you now.
Wait a minute. Why is a guy like you flying? You need to have your own private jet.
That's coming because you know what? At first I used to be like, I start off, and you appreciate. I start like, nah, I'm okay, coach. And I was
No
like,
way. No, not
and
you.
it's like, after the first, couple times, and it's like constantly on the road, like, okay, first class. Then it went from Okay, I can't even do first class anymore.
Right.
I get my own thing. I got to do my own thing.
You
So,
have to, man. I mean, you can't even fit in a chair. It's like 3 chairs for you to fit in.
oh my God, yeah,
Are
it's
you
crazy.
three? I mean, I'm not, you don't have to tell me, but I'm guessing 300 pounds?
Actually, I'm 285 now. 280, 285.
285.
I lost the weight. So I'm keeping it up. I'm gonna get a little bit before I see you again, and
Okay,
then
how about
training.
we have you as the ambassador for the Olympia? That'd be nice.
You got to be absolutely amazing. We need to put that on Dan and Jake's calendar.
I'm going to ask Jake and Dan about that. You would
That's
be a
what we
great
need.
ambassador. But, listen, I brought up the mental health thing because I think that a lot of our people in the sport need help. They need some guidance. I don't think we have any programs for that. Do you know any that these people can go to?
It's funny. And first off, I'm gonna commend you for even saying that. I love you. I love what you do. I've always
I
have. I've
love
always
you.
and I've always will support you. And that's why I stopped what I was doing just to be here to see you.
Thank you.
And you bringing up that says a million things about you and who you are. Because a lot of people, they just want the fan and the this and that and want to talk about stupid stuff. Mental health is so important, especially in that world, and people looking at it, thinking, nothing's wrong with me. That's a lie. We all have something underlying that's going on, and looks can be so much deceiving in a facade, even with myself. So on that part of it, I have a few things that's getting ready to come up.
Okay.
And like I said, you can always call a hotline, you can always call that, and I'll be very transparent with you. They don't always work. And they don't always work and they don't always answer. And they're not always the nicest, they're not always the supportive. And that's why I say people have to get out of their heads and thinking that it's just gonna be a click. When people come to me, I never turn them to the hotline. I will talk to them me personally myself. And I've been on talking to strangers for hours. Because if it's gonna save a life, if it's gonna change a perspective, I had a young lady call who DM'd me the other day. I'm like, Chef, you'll never see this, but I just want to say thank you because you stopped me from taking my life. I have 3 kids.
Oh,
I have
wow.
that. I mean, literally, she was like very successful, and I'm like, you're the person I'm here. This is what you need to do. Talk to her just for a moment, and that's all it took for me just to answer and just to say that to her. It just changed everything.
How many
But
people's lives do you think you've saved over the last few years?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a great number, but I'll tell you that if it's one, I'm perfectly fine with that because hopefully that one can do the exact same thing that I'm doing that can save so many more. You know me, I'm a very simple guy, and I don't even show the work that I do and how much I do, but I'll tell you it's 1,000 times more than people know. It's not about fame or glory or this or that or putting myself trying to be ahead of anybody else because I'm just like everybody else. Otherwise, I talk, I speak, I walk, I do everything that everybody else is doing. But at the same time, I do know my value and I do know my worth,
Yeah.
just because I'm that guy. But my value and worth goes into everybody else the same.
This is
And
what
that,
I love about you because listen, you besides being the world's strongest chef, I mean, working under four presidential, serving under four presidents. I'm sorry, you make me very nervous. And doing all the things you do, being a big celebrity that you are, you're the most humble and kindest person I've ever met.
that
And you
means a
give
lot.
you give time to everybody. Like if somebody says, "Hey, I need a picture," can I get a picture? You're, oh, sure. You don't. It's like you make people feel like they're the celebrity. You make them feel like they're something. Every single person that you meet.
And that means a lot to me, and that's true. And I tell people, as I tell my people, and I'll take lots of pictures, and every person is the first person I meet. I don't care if it's the first person or the 2,000th person. They're the first person I meet. They're going to get the same smile, the same greeting, the same conversation. It always, and that's just the way it is because I was on that other side at one point in time. I know what it is to struggle. I know what it is to want. I know what it is to feel, hopeless, helpless, to feel worthless. And even in my demeanor where I am now, unfortunately, I lost Eric the trainer,
I
and
know.
that,
Yeah.
that phone call while I was away in Korea after talking FaceTime the day prior,
Oh
you
wow.
know, that took me out, and I was like, I had to step back and I had to think, and then, it was so much emotional. And recently, I lost, a few more loved ones in my life, unexpectedly.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
No, thank you. And it just the thing I'll say is it reiterates and reinforces because of because of the situations that happen that I am here for a reason, and that he makes no mistakes, even though you question him. That we still have to go and we still have to be strong for someone, but most importantly for ourselves.
When Eric passed, as you know, the whole world shook because
It
this
did.
guy was such a positive man. And you know, like the moment I met, actually, those moment I met you the first
Great.
time, and
Yep.
Eric, I'm seeing this guy, the most happiest man in the world.
The happiest.
Oh my God. And then this whole clapping thing he does, I'm like, who is this guy? It looks like, oh my God, the nighttime, Jimmy Fallon.
Yep. Jimmy Fallon.
But I watched the celebration of his life, and you know, again, I'm just in tears. And still to this day, I'm still shocked, and you know, I'm kind of because he was such a great guy. You know, people like him and yourself really changed the world. You know, you're positive people. You love everybody. You do whatever you can for those. You try to be a positive impact in their life. And again, you touch my life. When I was listening to your audiobook, the first few lines, I'm already having Niagara Falls just by the words that you're speaking because it resonates with me. Because look, I'm going to be honest, I'm a broken individual, very broken. And it's people like you that make me feel, you know, there's still hope. There's still, even though you're going through rocky spots in your life, there's still hope. There's still a positive outcome that can happen. You just have to believe in yourself. And it's hard, you know? It's hard.
No, it is. Well, I'm gonna tell you something right now on your show, since I'm recorded, that you owe me a phone call. You owe me a phone call. I'm telling you, I'm not asking you. I need to talk to
You
you.
gotta say it in a way where I'm like scared shitless.
You better get your ass. Damn it!
Damn it.
I
No,
done broke the
don't break
table.
anything.
I broke the
Don't
table.
break anything. You know,
No,
you're right. I do need to make a phone call to you and talk. Absolutely. You know, you're a great friend of mine, and yeah, we always need that pep talk and a little talk. And again, you're like that little angel on my shoulder, you know, that's cussing at me and telling me what the F to do and stuff like that. But I do appreciate what you do. But I got to ask you, do you miss working under the president, you know, the presidents, or is that, do you think about that from time to time?
honestly, I still get to go around. Do I miss? No. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I don't miss working for anyone actually.
Yeah.
I because of when you have this type of calling and freedom to be able to help so many people and give back a million times over, and just to feel just vibrant, like you, I am a very broken individual.
Yeah.
Like very. People see me and they see the smile and they see that. I have to work on it each and every day, literally.
Yeah.
The last time I cried was last night.
Oh,
Next time probably be tonight, probably be tomorrow. I don't know, but I do know that I needed to do it. It doesn't mean I'm sad. It doesn't mean that I'm
right.
angry. It doesn't mean anything. It's a release for me, and it could be from anything. It could be from happiness. It can be like, man, I'm so appreciative of what I have and what I've done. So we have to look at that and take it for what it's worth, and not look at it and say it's sadness that's coming out. It's just toxins leaving your body to say, hey, we need to do something about it.
That's the way I look at it too. So my director, Nico, he has a few things he wants to say.
Oh, okay.
There's such a stigma on the words mental health. People still seem to look at mental health as something negative. Can we start using the words emotional health instead?
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
So, it was funny. Someone said to me the other day, they said they saw some idea and they say, Chef, can we stop saying the word suicide and say when someone commits suicide, say, what was the word they said? Death by something,
Hmm.
right? So, and it was a female, and she sent me this long blurb about it and whatever and so forth. PTSD went from PTSD to PTS, and it was something that someone said in the military, and it was to try to make it more, kosher, more accepting, right? Death by something instead of saying death by suicide. Suicide is a very strong word.
Yes.
It happened to the person and how. Death by, and I'm like, what does that mean? What's the definition? It just makes it more comfortable. I don't want it to be comfortable when we talk about it.
Right.
It's something that I know is very stigmatic and I know is very traumatic, but I also have a way, with my way I do it, to make it much more acceptable. Meaning that I can't be like down on you and make it just seem gloomy and all that shit, and all of that stuff. I have to make it where it's a way where you can engage in it in an open conversation on that. So mental health, or what was the word Nico said?
Emotional health.
Emotional health. Mental health is my emotional health, right? I'm not going to stop saying my mental health, because everything, when you say it's a mental state of mind, it's an emotional state of mind. However, if that's what you need to make yourself feel that part of it, the only thing I don't want it to happen is I don't want it to be diluted. Your
Right.
mental, because it has something that's related to it. If your mental, my emotional health means, I tell people all the times, don't let emotions rule you. Emotions can take lives, can end lives, can start lives. And I talk about that when I speak. Don't be emotional. I'm never emotional when I'm in the heat of battle, meaning whether I be on the field or whether I be in the kitchen. I'm not emotional, right? I'll never say I'm not mental. I'm not emotional.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think a lot of words now are diluted, and everybody tries to soften them up to make it seem more acceptable.
Yeah, I don't want that to be acceptable, because kids will look at that and they're like, I didn't commit suicide. He didn't commit, so he did death by, it makes it seem like it's putting it off to blame on someone else.
No.
It's not, it doesn't happen that way. I don't want it to have, well, me personally, I will never change that for that part. As I told her, I'm not going to say what you want me to say.
Right. Right. And I agree with you 100%. Let me ask you this. How many push-ups have you done over the years?
Oh
What
my
is that
God.
number? Over a billion?
Yeah, and it's millions and millions and millions. That is for sure. And one day I'm gonna add it all up. And I never. You've seen my push-ups.
Oh, yeah.
Even you've seen my one push-up.
Yeah. I'm going to try today to do the 2,222 push-ups.
Are you really?
I'm going to try it this afternoon. I'm going to make
Okay.
a video. I'm going to post it in honor of you. And we're going to see how long I go. But how long does it take you? An hour? Not
Hour and a
even?
half. Hour and a half.
Oh, my God.
Hour and a half. And the thing about it is with that, and that didn't happen overnight. As you know, I'm an endurance trainer, but I
Right.
tell, because people say, the only thing I ask you about is listen to your body. Be very careful. When you're doing push-ups, whatever, people started jerking and trying, just like doing working out. Working out. When you try to stroll ass, when you make jerking, like, oh, all of a sudden something's going, and
Right.
then you're out for months, right? I tell people, hey, stop when you gotta stop, go when you gotta go. Don't do it. Take it. I'm a numbers guy, so you gotta be very strategic. I do 125, and that equals out to 1776, which is the birth of the country. Got all that.
Yeah.
So everything I do have to have a rhyme and a reason to it to make me be able to do it even more so.
Yeah. Where are you going to be at next for shows, bodybuilding shows or expos or events?
Well, of course, I'm going to be at. I think I'm going to go to the Fit Expo here in Anaheim, in California. They invited me. I don't get to go, so I might show up there. I'm doing Dragon Fest, which is the martial arts thing with Michael J. White and all other guys. I'm doing Olympia, of course, and Arnold. I'm doing some other shows that's
Any
coming up.
European stuff?
I've been invited to a few things over there. I've been invited to Dubai and some other shows that's coming
You
up.
should come out to the Dubai Pro in September. That'd be fun.
Dubai Pro. You know
Yeah.
what? I was invited there last year, but it was a conflict. I had something else going on.
Sure.
I have to hit that up. I know that's the one I want to go to.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah, I heard it's a great show. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah.
What's your diet like now? You still eating 4 chickens and all this other kind of stuff? And you eat a lot.
Honestly, I eat a lot. If people don't get it, when I say I eat a lot, I ain't
You
gonna
eat
lie, I
a
eat a
lot.
lot. I don't count macros. I don't do that. I just eat. But if I eat and I eat whatever it is, I got to work for it. And I'm literally on the road all the time, and I'm not the type of person to be packing all that food in my bags and this.
Right.
I'll get a whole chicken in there at one time, and then when I get wherever I'm going, I got a savage. I
Right.
got a savage. Like I went and grabbed some from the stores and got a little kitchenette. Got me a bunch of turkey, unprocessed turkey. Got me some peanut butter. I know it's terrible, and some bread, and just
Oh.
up and just eat. I just eat.
The best thing you made me was that turkey wraps with the the cream cheese
Oh
and the
yeah, you remember
cranberries.
that cream cheese and the crazy,
Oh, that was amazing.
a little tang to it, nice.
Yes.
That shredded
So,
lettuce.
what's your biggest pet peeves as a chef? Like when you see people cooking or trying to cook for you, what's your biggest thing that you look like? Number 3 things that you look at that's like, oh, bothers you, just drives you nuts.
Cooking, cleanliness.
Okay, of course. Yeah.
Cleanliness. I'm not gonna lie to you. Cleanliness. Um, Cleanliness. Okay, these gonna be all the same ones. Proper. Proper care of your products. I mean, I guess it'd be right the same thing like having your meats out or having this out or waiting too long or multiple people touching the same product. I
Oh,
had
yeah.
that when people were like coming over helping. I'm like,
Right.
okay, I don't want it. I'm done. I'm done. Don't touch my food. Or I'll say I'll pay anything for a price. I don't eat out often, but if I'm paying you my money, I want it to be like I'm the only person that exists. I don't care if it's a wrap. I don't care if it's that. I don't want my S warmed up in a microwave where it gets hard. I
Right.
don't. I want it. I want it to be that professional care. And I hate today that everything now already comes pre-percentage, so nobody feels like they have to work or get the hospitality.
Yes. This
I
is
had
true.
I mean, they're like, oh, and it went from 10% to 12% to 15%, and now it's starting off like at 20%, or 22%.
Yeah.
I'm like, you haven't done anything. You just rung me up.
So
And
what do you
want-
do when you get that? When you go to a restaurant and let's say it's the crappiest food you've ever had, what kind of a tip does Chef Rush give?
Tip, you know what I do? I call the manager. I say, can I get to their manager? And I never say who I am or whatever.
right.
But I'll say, I did it the other day actually. I said, I don't know. This right here is absolutely terrible. I said, I'm going to pay for it, but I'm letting you know, whoever's here and whoever's doing this is terrible. Your server needs to do it. And it was a young lady. I said, she's absolutely terrible. I see her fussing with other people. I said, presentation, the looks, the whole vibe, the whole energy, yada yada yada. And I'm very honest. Whether they be,
Painfully honest.
I'd be painfully honest, and I mean Kitchen Commando honest.
Yes,
Kitchen
yes,
Commando
yes.
honest. Because I actually was gonna go and I was gonna put on my Kitchen Commando thing, and I know it'll be crazy because everything's social media
Right,
now.
right.
Go to all these different restaurants and be Kitchen Commando right there in everybody's place. Like, give it to me, let me have it,
Sure.
order it, and then they'll be like, okay, there you go.
How many people want you to come to the restaurant to try their food? I'm sure you get a lot of invitations.
Everybody, everybody. I just, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. And I do support. I'm a big sushi fan, so I do support a bunch
Okay,
of
what's
those
the best sushi in the U.S. you've had?
in the U.S.
Yeah.
The one in L.A. that I go to, they're really good. Ishinishi Sushi Dan. Of course, I've ate at Nori. I've ate at a bunch of. They've got a lot of good ones around, but I'll be honest with you. I like the ones that the hospitality is great.
Right.
I like that. I like that. I like that part. I get the sushi part of it, but I need that hospitality. I'm serious. I'm that energy guy. I just have to have it. It can be this part, that part. Sushi can be great. If it just seems like they're just bringing me some out just to eat and just like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Now you've cooked for princes, princesses, queens, kings. I mean, you've done it all, right? So you can cook anything. There is nothing you can't cook.
And there's nothing I can't cook.
I love
Even if I
it.
can't cook it, I still can cook it.
I just adore you and love you. So let me just end it with this because I know you're very busy. I know you got a very busy schedule. I appreciate you being on here and talking to me and the whole universe out there about mental health and you and what you're doing. You're an amazing man. Obviously, I hope we're going to get a part 2 book.
You will. It's a part 2 coming out now, but it's going to be a cookbook, and it's going to be it's actually focused towards fitness.
Now you
And
have your knives for sale too. You never leave home without a knife, right? Don't you travel with your little knife?
I do have a lot of knives. I have big knives. Don't say little. I have big knives.
Big knives, sorry, big
I
knives.
do.
But you
I
have
have
your own
my,
brand where people can buy, right?
well, I actually now I have my own brand of shirts. I have like a million of these shirts already. Call me Chef, damn it, in all different colors. I haven't. I bought like 1,000 of them, and I haven't launched them yet because I've just been so busy and get my team together. And then, of course, the book and my knives. I'm actually working because I don't want any cheap knives. I
Right.
actually trying to get my knives from Japan, working with them, Damascus. So yeah.
Okay, so what else on your website? Any other things that you have going on? I know chefrush.com, right?
Chef Rush, chefrush.com, yeah.
Yes.
Chef,
Any other projects, any other things people can buy your stuff?
I have a few things coming up. I haven't set them up yet, and that's just on me because I'm very meticulous. I want to go over them. I have my cutting board that has, that's lasered with Chef Rush.
I
and some-
saw that.
yeah, I have a bunch of stuff, which is really cool because I put the quality in them, more quality than what a lot of people do because I don't care about that monetary part. I want you to have them where you're looking like, oh, nope, I'm never cutting on this board. I'm just going to sign it for him. I'm good.
If somebody wants to book you, how do they go about doing that? Like, I saw you have a little thing on your website there for booking.
Yeah, so that's my main part of it. Where people just go to my website, but people literally come to me on all my platforms for booking, and I get bookings for everything. Especially a lot of speakings, a lot of speaking because of mental health and because of what I do, and just leadership and adversity and overcoming and all those different things that you heard from my book, right? So I'm very proud of that.
And these different charities you're a part of, the lung, obviously the Cancer Society. And what are the other ones that you're a part of now?
F Society, USO. I'm doing USAA, and oh man, I do Fisher House. I do a lot of charity. I even have my own charity as well.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I have my own nonprofit, which is about kids, underprivileged kids. Because kids are basically next to mental health. Well, actually in front of mental health because of that part. Is I cherish kids. I love kids.
Yes, you do love kids. There's something about a kid's smile when you see it. It just makes you feel all warm and tingly inside. And
It
I get
does.
really pissed off when I'm at a show or, there's an athlete and a kid's asking, hey, can I have a photo? And they just turn around and walk the other way.
See, I'm glad you said that. I didn't want to say that.
I hate
that was
that.
that was my example earlier when I was talking about. Like I said, if I'm standing there for 4 hours taking pictures, and you're behind a booth, and you have to leave, and a little kid comes up to you, and and I'm like, come on, man, come on, whoever you are, you can't do that.
Right.
It's just not. Yeah, I don't get it.
Well, listen, I love you. Thank you for all you do. Again, it's amazing. I can't wait to watch more of chicken. I have chicken on my mind. I'm thinking of the chicken titty pasta. That's what it is, right? Damn it. You and that guy was hilarious. Respect the food.
Respect the food.
You ever had someone who doesn't respect the food and you just whoop their ass?
I've been whooping everybody's ass lately. That's why I've been so aggressive.
You are very aggressive. I don't want to piss you off, but listen, Chef, it's been a real honor having you on. I'm going to leave it with you. I'm looking forward to seeing you all over the TV, the movies, everywhere, listening to you talk and your fun videos all over your platforms.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Love you, and you are absolutely amazing. Keep rocking
Thank
it,
you.
rock star.
All right. All right, guys. There we've had it. The chef, the world's strongest chef in the world. He's the greatest. He's the author of I'm a Chef, Damn It. Go buy it. It's on, where can we find your book?
It's everywhere. Call me Chef, damn it. It's on Amazon, Burns Note. It's everywhere. It'll pop up.
Watch Master Chef, watch Kitchen Commando, and all his other fun stuff he has there. And also, we got to get your social medias.
Oh,
Can't leave that out.
oh, IG Real Chef Rush, YouTube Chef Rush, Facebook Chef Rush. It's just Chef Rush everywhere.
Chef Rush everywhere. All right, darling. Thank you so much. It's
Thank
really
you.
been an honor.
Thank you. Pleasure.